one of the things that we do that's kind of a little bit unique from other businesses, I think, other than HR issues, there's an HR inbox, but all of us share email inboxes. I can see everything that they have in their inbox that's sent and all of that. They can see everything that's in mine. All of that was just done out of continuity of service for clients, things of that nature. But it's really been a great litmus test on adding people to the team that we know they're going to have access to inboxes and sensitive things and all of that. If they can't pass that test in your mind, that's been an easy no.
Welcome back to the TrustBuilt Podcast. I am your host, Alan Bennett, and today we've got a guest. This is the first I've run into the type of work that he does. His name is Stephen Schmitt, and he is with Willow Financial. Welcome to the show, Stephen.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome to. Thank you for being here, because I run into and I partner with financial planners and people that work in wealth management and that space. And in the work that I do, my day job is not a podcaster.
Yeah,
that would be obvious. I'm not
a
full-time job. This is fun for me, and because I love to hear the people's story and their journey around entrepreneurship and how they build trust and all that. And what you do is really specific. So if you would take just a few minutes to kind of share with what it is that your business does.
Sure. So in 2007, started financial services, much like you would typically see. So assets under management type model, and there were some commission things and things of that nature. Fast forward to about 2021, I had basically met and exceeded all of the personal goals, business goals that I set out to do. And really, I was a solo practice at the time, started to feel less than fulfilled. Maybe it's kind of being on the back half of things mentally. It just wasn't, the passion wasn't being fulfilled. And as I thought about it, a lot of it was, I wanted to do things differently, so against the grain of what the business traditionally has done. The other thing was I didn't have a team. I was a mentor for a few people. I love teaching, but it just started to organically come together that myself and a couple of other people wanted to create something and do it together. So one of my passions is seeing them grow, seeing them grow their business and be a part of that. So Willow Financial is our firm. Willow is fee only, which means the fee that the client sees, and we actually tell our clients the fee in dollars, which is not typical in our industry. That fee is the fee. So we don't receive anything else from a third party. Our advice is completely objective, and that is that. So to lean in even further, we created a separate division, actually a separate firm called Pathway by Willow, and that is an advice-only relationship where people hire us by the hour or retainer, and we provide advice. They do not have to have us manage assets, things like that, because there's a certain segment of people that enjoy doing it. They just want to try to avoid some potholes, see what they might be missing, walking by opportunities, things like that. So that's us.
The financial world can be overwhelming to a lot of people, and it's people that are highly intelligent. It's just something that it's just like an anomaly, but the way that they see it is like this voodoo. I don't know how you do this. How do you know what to do with all of that? And then there's some that dig deep. I know my father-in-law was big into, he knew every move and what was going on, and he was in tune with his financial planner, and he kind of thrived on that type of world. So is there anybody in the middle, or is it?
It's across the board, right?
Okay.
What's interesting, so we're very passionate about creating light bulb moments. We at heart, and we didn't know this, I don't think, when we started, but we're teachers. We like our people to be able to sound back why they're doing what they're doing. And when you can create that epiphany moment, light bulb moment, and see that they finally get something about their plan or just in general about finances, that's really amazing. And so one of the things that has been interesting is even people that really go into the weeds on their own and love it, it's difficult to read the label on the jar from inside the jar. And so to see when they have that epiphany moment and might be missing something, just didn't dot that I, cross that T, that's pretty awesome for us.
All right. I like the light bulb moment. I like that use of words. Is that something that just evolved, or how'd you come up with light bulb moment?
I mean, I guess so. I think we always wanted to, and me going all the way back, I like to understand things. I also believe if somebody understands something, it's going to be stickier as far as them implementing it and sticking with it over decades. And I think just naturally as that happens, we grew to really enjoy that. A self-serving piece of it too, though, is we believe if you can help people understand something that they didn't before, I do think it draws you closer together and it changes the relationship.
Yeah. In my world, it's the coaching mindset, and whether you're coaching a client or you're coaching an employee or coaching kids, there's that getting someone from A to whatever B is that they've identified as B, getting them past that line to where they understand that is, to me, is the most rewarding part of that journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in your past, everything you've talked about, I'm hearing coaching. I'm hearing this coaching, whether you're coaching the people that hire you or you're coaching the people that you work with. Have you always been drawn to?
I have no idea how that came to be. That's physical therapy was kind of what I went to school for. Met a girl in college, and it was going to take us to 2 different schools for grad school. So we decided to scrap the plan. I guess we've all entrepreneurs, right? We've always been okay doing that kind of thing, going against the grain. In between there and now, I spent 3.5 years, a very long 3.5 years in the car business. And it taught me a lot about what we did not want to do. Mm. And so helping people, it just, we were definitely missing that part. And I don't know, to tell you the truth, why it ended up being financial planning. But it did. We had to do something. We had two littles at home, and Kristen, she stays at home. And so we were just 25 years old, naive. I think you kind of have to be to start your own thing. And so we were just naive enough to do it.
Yeah. It's interesting. My wife and I both decided to change careers around age 27.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So she went from business to science and I went from science to business.
Yep.
It just completely changed everything. And so, all right, since you brought up family and having little ones at home, if you don't mind taking a step back, that entrepreneurial journey starts with a lot of eyes looking at you as to how are we going to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I hear sometimes from peers, I don't know how you guys did it. I think as I look back, if it wasn't for that pressure, I don't think I would have pushed through those walls. So we kind of gave ourselves, it was that burn the ships mentality. We gave ourselves no other option other than to just make it happen, the bootstrap thing. And we did. I don't know that you ever feel like you're done and you've made it, but if you look backwards, you kind of see those milestones where it became less about eating and more about just doing better, right?
Yeah, there's sleepless nights,
For sure, for both of us, I'm sure.
And just waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to go back to sleep. You might have gone to sleep just fine, but 2:00, you're fixing problems in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
when I meet with business owners in my day job, the common theme is having, I hear back against the wall or pressure, or they've leveraged their personal assets in order to get things moving forward. And they all share this personal journey, just like what you did. And they also talk about that it's constant. It never goes away. It just changes as it moves forward. So saying all that, share a little bit about how you use that empathy of when you're dealing with clients going forward in your business. How does that look?
Yeah, well, definitely have a special place in my heart for entrepreneurs, for sure, because I don't know that anybody really knows what that's like. It's kind of like if you've ever seen the picture of the iceberg, what all happens below the surface. You can't see it, but if you've been through it, you know it's there. Just helping people through stressful times. We went through them, and it feels so good. So it's just a natural thing.
As you've grown, so you said that you started out as just you were a solopreneur.
Yep.
How did you then decide it's time to hire somebody? What did that look like?
Well, yeah. So I did hire support, a right hand, if you will, maybe 3 years in, and it was couple 3 hours, 5 hours a week, had no clue what to give to her. So I was just giving her receipts or whatever, just scan these please, and didn't know how to be a boss or anything like that. So she ended up she was with me for 12 years until she retired, a little longer than that, I think, and so special. So if it was not for that person, definitely could not have achieved what we have. I would consider to be peers in the industry, things like that, but separate businesses. So I did have that peer group that you can bounce ideas off of, and things, but your success is not tied to each other. And just the mentoring ended up being something that I really enjoyed. If somebody shares the same values, maybe they're a little behind you as far as tenure, and you've been there. That was always fun. So, I think when I achieved, like I said, everything that I kind of had set out on paper to achieve, when that happened, it just kind of felt a little flat. I also started to think about, the end of my career, and I hope we've got decades left. But what's going to happen to our clients, or at that time, my clients, and that's not fair. So I actually started that pressure. It's different than being successful. That pressure of being there for them when I'm no longer here started to really weigh on me. And I did not have any examples of people ahead of me who had very successful succession plans already in place, to where basically when the founder leaves, it's kind of a non-event. And so that started to bother me. So just kind of looking around at the relationships that we had with peers and things like that. I had a couple of what are now co-founders of Willow that we had. It's kind of was a mutual interview. One was 10 years together and one was 5, just as that mentor-mentee relationship. And so it just kind of happened. And really, just like before, it was just naive enough to go do it again and kind of restart, right?
Yeah.
Reset.
Yeah. And I wasn't thinking we would go down the partnership relationship route, but in different parts of your business, trust can look different, right? So there's the trust, the client trust relationship. There's the employee trust relationship. There's a partner trust relationship. Then you got the trust with family and friends.
Yeah.
The one thing that I see that there's always a common theme within the world of trust that we live in, because people are trusting you with their money, right?
Sure.
Their retirement. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that concept as far as the client relationship and where is it that you can feel that they now completely trust you with what you're doing?
I think you can probably tell pretty quick as far as that goes. For me personally, and it doesn't mean it always works out, but for me personally, blind trust is not the word, but to not have trust in a team member or a client advisor type relationship, it's exhausting. I don't know how to operate that way. Again, sometimes it's just, maybe you get burned. That's kind of a dramatic way of saying it. But we, in our office, we don't know how to do it any other way than to be team members, that we would do anything for each other at any time. One of the things that we do that's kind of a little bit unique from other businesses, I think, other than HR issues, there's an HR inbox, but all of us share email inboxes. And so I can see everything that they have in their inbox that's sent and all of that. They can see everything that's in mine. All of that was just done out of continuity of service for clients, things of that nature. But it's really been a great litmus test on adding people to the team that, we know they're going to have access to inboxes and sensitive things and all of that. And so if they can't pass that test in your mind, that's been an easy no, right, on hiring. So, except HR, that still stays private.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For those that were just listening to that, I want to dig back into that a little bit, because I've not heard of the shared inbox before. I've heard of teams having a shared box, but
right.
You're talking about the whole organization.
Absolutely. Yep. Everything.
That's unique. So when did that idea?
That started when we established our new firm, and I guess that's 2023. I think it just started out of innocence of we wanted to increase the continuity of service, probably save some emails back and forth between each other. Hey, you need to know about this, and you're forwarding things and all of that. So I don't know that we didn't design it to see if we could trust each other or whatever. It was just a thing that we did for efficiency. And since then, as you see things come in your inbox, it's a good feeling, great feeling to know that everybody else saw it if they needed to see it, and you're totally good with it. So doesn't mean you don't have private conversations outside of email, things like that. But we think our clients also know that. And we think, from just what they have shared, at least outwardly, that they appreciate that also, that they are, and this is kind of going to a separate topic, but in our business, maybe real estate's kind of the same. It's typically an advisor and a client, and that's my client, and that, everybody else is separate. At Willow, we do not have individual clients. Everybody works for the client, and we always like every client to know two advisors really, really well. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. So
that's right. As you shared that story of the email, there's two words that came to my mind. One was clarity. And a lot of trust is lost when things are ambiguous, or things get dropped. What's the saying, between the cracks, or things like that. So clarity, and then consistency. And consistency is the mother of all trust pillars, right? Just staying consistent. And what I'm hearing is, whether it was intentional or not, you tackled those two with the shared email.
That's just an innocent find, I guess.
What's the saying about the blind hog?
Yeah, right. And if it works, it works. So yeah, but I can tell you this: we would not go back.
Right.
And I think a lot of things that you discover through your journey in business, entrepreneurship, and life in general, I think if you stumble onto something, if someone were to take it away, if you get nervous, then you're on the right track.
Right. Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Yep.
I don't know a lot of businesses that could pull that off. That says a lot about your group.
Yeah. And And it's not like it's not a compliant. It's a very highly regulated business. A lot of sensitive stuff coming and going. I was joking earlier, but seriously, HR, and then we do have some compliance things that we need to do that are separate. But that's nobody else needs to know those things. So that's separate. But yeah, everything else.
So tell me a little bit. Let's walk through that journey. If I'm a new client,
yep,
and I meet you today, and I'm like, hey, I think I want to take the next step with you. Do you tell me then about the email? What does the onboarding of a client look like?
Right. Yeah, the email.
Now, I want you to answer more than just the email. I just
no.
Up,
yeah,
but
I don't know that we specifically say written down on paper and let them know that, hey, we share emails.
Oh, by the way,
if it comes up, it definitely comes up, and people naturally know it because of the way we respond as well.
Yeah.
So onboarding, we like to do a right fit call. We call it the right fit call, where one of my partners, typically Phil Kapler, will do a 15-minute call with someone who is talking to us. And really, that's just a short version of Willow and then Pathway, our other firm, explaining how we work, how it's a little bit different than what they're probably going to find elsewhere. He does like to find out, what are you looking for? What's your experience been working with others? And we want that to feel like a good fit. So a little philosophy, things like that. And then after that, we'll do 45-minute meeting to an hour. The stage is set early that it's a team, because that meeting, that first face-to-face meeting or Zoom meeting, is almost always, if calendars cooperate, with two of us. And so immediately that is a little bit different. And so why are there two of us here? That naturally is something that we talk about early. And the feedback has been really, really good. I mean, I had clients that worked with just me for 16 years, and you don't really know how that's going to go, introducing someone else to know their private, what's emotional stuff. It's been amazing. People have at least outwardly said that they love it.
Yeah.
And we can tell they do.
Now, when you are dealing with other partners that serve the client, and I'll just throw one out there, like an estate attorney, right?
Yep.
Estate planning attorney. In your world, how do you bring someone, when it looks like it's an appropriate time to bring somebody like that in, like, oh, you mean you don't have an estate plan yet?
Right.
When you introduce that to a client that, hey, this is something that we need to tackle.
Yep.
What does that look like? Do they just share that experience?
Yeah. So outside professionals, we believe one of the things that is different about us, and we know this for sure, is our industry does a really poor job of communicating with other professionals around the client, whether that's CPA, attorney, insurance roles, things like that. Really, it's, if you think about the client being the hub of the wheel, which sounds good, but they're the ones communicating with all of these professionals and then having to relay, this is what it was like, at the attorneys, this is how the meeting went, things like that. So one of the things we do early is, estate planning is a big passion of mine. We will always offer, and most of the time we will go to that first meeting, or all of the meetings with, and we know the clients, we feel like better than, somebody else can learn in 20, 30 minutes. And so to be that second set of ears for them, to listen in on the meetings, help, and all that communication, that the feedback on that's been really, really good. So.
And I don't want to turn this into an estate attorney conversation.
That's all right.
But there's what I see with business owners, especially, there's apprehension with that. They would engage with you a lot faster than maybe an estate planning attorney. And how do you bridge that? Because that can be for some clients, that can be sensitive.
Right.
This is trust again. We're talking about trust.
It is. No, it is. Yeah, trust and trust that they may have to do, right? Estate planning is one of the heavier things that people need to do and gets put off. And whether it's a young family with kids at home and we're talking about guardianship, which there's nothing more serious than who would raise your kids if you're not here, then to, who's going to manage your money, things like that. And then succession planning in business and things. One of the things I believe that creates additional apprehension is just not understanding what it is. And it is complex. There's all this legalese, but helping them, by the time a client of ours gets to an attorney's office, they know really how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. And so by the time we get there, a lot of the decisions they are going to be asked to make have either already been made, or at least we're going to let them know, here are the tough things that you guys need to consider, and we'll help them through all that.
Okay, so that's what your team will do, is prep them, right?
Yes.
Right. Here's the playbook. Yep. Here's what you're going to expect in the game.
Yep.
So when they get to the play in the game, they know what move to make.
Yeah, anxiety goes way down if you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, anxiety. That's a great word. And some people go into it and they don't, it doesn't faze them one bit. They're like, okay, good, let's do this, let's take care of it, move on.
Yep.
And then there's the others, right?
It takes years sometimes, to get people around to, because with most families, it's not just one person that has to come to terms with whatever they need to do. It's two. Mm-hmm. Or business partners, right? If it's a business with multiple owners. And so to get two people on the same page about this kind of stuff, it's not always easy. Sometimes it is, but it's not always.
I worked with, and I'll just be a little vulnerable here. I worked with a guy. I guess technically he'd be a strategy coach. Mm-hmm. And before I niched my business to owner dependency, he helped me walk through that process. And one of the questions that he asked me that has always stuck is, who is the client? Describe the client that you get really excited about, that they reach out to you and you're like, I really want this client because... Right. I know what that looks like for me. Yeah. So for you and your group, what would that client look like?
Yeah, I don't know if I have the words for it, but I'll do my best. I have actually reflected on this as to the relationships that we enjoy the most versus the ones that either don't work out in the beginning, long term, or we just don't enjoy them as much. If someone doesn't care about someone or something more than themselves, what is it all for? And so if we have clients who love someone or some place, whether it's charity or a cause or something like that, if they care about something else or someone else, the drive is there for them to lean in, to want to improve, seek to understand, and take those next steps. And we love that. So when we can help them feel better, when they say things like, you can see it, right? Mm-hmm. You can just see it come off their face on how much more relaxed they are. And typically, and we didn't know this until still looking back, that it's because they love somebody.
Oh, that's pretty powerful. I've never thought about that in that space before. I of course run into business owners every day, and I know you as well. But the thing that gets me is a passionate business owner, right? That they're extremely passionate about something that's not them. And I never thought about that till you worded it that way, that they love something but more than themselves. They have a higher value that they're trying to work towards to serve.
You're right. And they don't say it necessarily. No. You can just feel it. And they may not even know it, but that's why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah. And the questions, sometimes you try to uncover that, and sometimes it gets uncovered honestly, and it just happens, and the look, and you could feel the room change.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's when I thrive, because it's trust, that deeper connection. So connection is a form of trust, right? Yep. The deeper the connection, the more you trust.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. So to try to wrap things up a little bit here, I probably have two more questions.
Okay.
But we're getting close. If you had to go back over and do some of this stuff all over again, I know this is cliche.
Yep.
What would you either change or maybe do a research differently? What would be different about this journey that you've been on?
Yeah, I don't, I'll say what I would change, but I don't know that it's fair. And people say this all the time, I wish I would have done this earlier, right? As far as, so for me, what that means is the team, collaborating with this team, bringing this team that we love so much together. We wish we would have done it earlier, but what is unknowable, were we ready? And I don't know that. And so I guess if I was to have to answer, it would be do it earlier, team up earlier. Like I said, I don't know if we were ready or not. And I think the road that we went through, the 3 different roads that we went through as partners, led us to where we are today. So,
yeah. Oh, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Yep.
I'm just curious what your journey would be like.
Yeah.
And Captain Hindsight always hits, all the time. But the thing that I have found is it took that experience in order for me to appreciate the next experience, whatever that is.
Sure.
And so you can't really bunny hop that. At least
Right.
I don't know how.
Right.
So sometimes it has to be in a chronological order. Whether you could shorten that chronological order or not,
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so for going forward, for you especially, but for Willow, what do you see in the next 5, 10, 15 years? Because I don't want to get into a topic on AI, but there's this whole world of things that have seemed to have changed that didn't exist, say, 5 years ago. What does it look like for you?
Yeah. AI is a different podcast altogether, but it's here.
Yeah.
We at Willow, we like to think that we lean into things that are hard. We actually see AI as a net positive 10x, and it has so we use AI a lot as a thought partner. So an outside perspective and different things. So we use it. I think a lot of people use the way we do, but it's the public, I think, is still trying to get there. We're all figuring it out together. None of us have done it before. I can say personally, I have never thought so much since using it, because a lot of people are fearful that we're going to turn our brain off. It's going to do the math. It's going to write our papers in school and all those types of things. But knowing how to use it and how to communicate with it has been very exciting. And if you're just using it like Google and asking it a simple question and then having it do your work for you, that's we don't feel like that's the best use. But it's kind of another team member. However, we don't trust them as much as we trust each other.
Right.
So whatever it says, it's not gospel.
Right.
We'll take it deeper, but it gets us started a lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's on the AI side. Business side, Willow's grow. It's the need, the space that we are in now with being fee only, telling our clients their fee in dollars, and then the advice only pathway that we're doing as well. The industry is going that way slowly because it's very difficult to get established, successful practices away from the way they've always done it. So we do feel like we're the tip of the spear on that. So Willow is growing. We don't know what it's going to look like, of course, as far as how big and things like that. And that'll take care of itself. Personally, I would like, when I exit, for it to almost be a non-event. And so I have a personal plan as far as transferring equity within the team down. It's not building the Schmitt empire or anything like that. So I hope by the time I exit, I was a minority shareholder. And it was kind of that makes sense that he's done now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he did around here anyway.
Right, exactly.
That would be a compliment.
That's right. Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
But that's where we're headed.
Okay. Well, so for people that are listening or watching this, if they want to reach out to you for any reason, how would they find it?
It's pretty simple. www.willow, NWA, like Northwest Arkansas.com. Easiest way to do it.
That's the best way to go.
Yep.
So when they send an email, everybody sees it,
That's
right?
Yep. There's an email on there and everybody will get it. You're right. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So your whole team's going to know that Alan's trying to get in touch with you. Hey, Stephen.
And we'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, thanks for being a guest. This has been fantastic. You know, in the whole, not trying to bring it back up again, but the whole financial space is full, in my opinion. There's a lot of people out there, but the way that you're going about it is unique.
Yeah, we love it. And it's, tying this back into the trust thing, we're putting ourselves out there to clients. And most in our industry, maybe they say it in percentages, you'll pay X percent, and you say it one time and you never hear it again. So can they really say what they're paying? Not really. So we've really leaned into that. It's hard to do it that way. Yeah. At least people think it is. But it's not. People love it, and it brings us closer together, we feel like.
Yep. Clarity.
Yep.
It's clarity.
Yep. Absolutely.
It builds trust.
Yep.
Well, thanks for being a guest.
Yep. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet.